Michael Packard might be the luckiest or unluckiest person alive. On the morning of June 11th, 2021, Michael, who was 57 years old at the time, hopped in a boat with his longtime diving partner, Josiah. They took off and headed for the open waters right off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, where they planned to do some lobster diving. Once they reached this spot right off the coast, Michael put on all of his scuba diving equipment and hopped in the water. Josiah did not put on any diving equipment because he was not going to be getting in the water for this dive. And so just after 6 a.m., once Michael was in the water and signaled he was good to go, he dove down below, and after a little while, he came back up, but with a relatively small haul of lobsters. For the next couple of hours, Michael continued to go down and catch as many lobsters as he possibly could. By 8 a.m., Michael had captured approximately 100 pounds of lobsters that were now in the boat. And so Michael decided he would go back down one more time and try to get just a few more lobsters before they called it a day. And then all of a sudden, this eruption of white water came rushing up to the surface right where Michael had gone down below. After Michael had broken the surface on this final dive down to get more lobsters, he felt something smash into him from behind, and then everything around him went totally pitch black. The impact of whatever it was that hit him had caused his mouthpiece to get blown out of his mouth. So he doesn't have air and he starts fumbling around to find his mouthpiece. His hands are making contact with what feels like walls all around him. He was inside of an enclosed space. But when he had touched these walls, they were not normal walls. They were soft, but they were hard at the same time, and they seemed to be moving, like they were pulsating or quivering. The space he was in was fairly large, and it was not completely flooded with water. He started to notice intense pressure on his legs. Finally, Michael found the line that was connected to his mouthpiece. He jammed it in his mouth, and he took a long inhale, and that's when it dawned on him. He had been swallowed by a whale. For nearly 45 seconds, Michael was trapped inside the closed mouth of a humpback whale. They only eat small fish. So when this particular whale realized Michael was not a tiny fish, it began violently swinging its head side to side to try to dislodge Michael. Michael was spat out of this whale's mouth. Michael made his way to the surface and he flagged down Josiah, who boated over to him. He pulled him back into the boat, and Michael, who was totally traumatized by what happened, could only say to Josiah that he was inside of it and that it tried to eat him. Michael was rushed to a hospital where he was evaluated, and unbelievably, he suffered really no injury. Michael was incredibly casual in all of his interviews about this. He just kind of acted like these things kind of happen, whales come out of nowhere, they just scoop you up, it happens. And he would tell the incredulous reporters who just could not believe this guy was real that as soon as he was better, he was getting back in the water and going lobster diving.